What is going on, everybody? I'm the guy that talks about cardboard way too much, and you will never believe what we're going to be talking about today. It's cardboard.
Bro, you better not be in there talking about cardboard again.
No. Alright, I'm going to be giving you guys a little deck tour, a little deck tech, if you will. And it's going to be for... It's going to be for this guy, for this little guy right here. Let's go! So this deck really thrives off of kind of setting up, getting your token makers, getting your lands into play, and then popping off in one big turn and killing everyone with Jetmir. And I like that a lot because with my old lands deck, which was the 4-color Omnath, Locus of Creation, I found that it just took really long, really dirtily turns. People would stop paying attention. I'd be playing, 10 lands, they're all fetch lands, you're searching for more lands. And I kind of wanted to just switch to something where I can set up my lands, set up a few tokens, and just end the game. And that way, whereas before I would probably know I was going to win, but it would take 10-20 minutes. With this one, you can just play Jetmir, kill everybody, and you're good to go. One disclaimer that I will give is that, especially building Jetmir instead of something like Omnath, is that I've tuned it a little bit more to be more enjoyable for myself and people around me, instead of being the absolute most tuned competitive deck of all time. And so it's very good, it does the job, it's a fantastic deck, it does really well, but I do have some exclusions that maybe you would want to put in your lands deck that I decided not to just because I don't like taking 15-minute turns every turn. So yeah, let's get going, shall we? And so yeah, we'll just start off quickly with the untagged lands. These are mostly either they get me the colors of mana, we've got Cavern of Souls to make things uncounterable, and beyond that, really like the fetch land type of cards are the ones that are really doing the big work. They'll let us double up our landfall drops and obviously bring them back from the graveyard, all that kind of good stuff, so they're awesome. So the first real category we're going to go through is draw. It's pretty self-explanatory. We have Horizon Canopy, which we can sack to draw, bring it back, fuel our graveyard, get more lands, use it with Life of the Loam, all that kind of stuff. Next we have Tireless Tracker and Valakut Exploration. These cards are really good because they basically let us turn our lands into draw, and then Valakut Exploration lets us fuel our graveyard as well for later on use, so that's fantastic. Valakut Awakening is amazing, mostly because it's a land on the other side. The more of those we can get, the better, so we love it. And then the last three are kind of just big draw spells, so either they let us play an additional land, they can draw off our power, which helps when we have Jetmir out, and then obviously Shamanic Revelation, we're going to be making a lot of tokens, you can draw a lot of cards. The extra lands category is pretty self-explanatory. Everything's going to let us play additional lands on our turn. And then we also have Oracle of Moldiah, which will let us play off the top of our library, which will help us kind of get that card advantage going. For the finisher category, we really only have a few cards. Jetmir's really a finisher in himself, and so these are the cards that usually when you cast them, you're either gonna win the game or you're gonna be really close to it. And so obviously Morog, fantastic with the extra combat, goes great with Jetmir. Scapeshift, staple of any lands deck, and Perforos is just gonna, we make those tokens, we do that damage. Make 20 tokens, Perforos into Scapeshift, there you go. Suddenly you won the game, it's fantastic. I have Goro to give haste. He's just a cheap creature that can spend one to give us haste. I don't know if this is the best in this slot, but I like it because it's cheap. Next up, we have our outlets. So these are all sacrifice outlets that are going to let us fuel the graveyard, sacrifice our tokens, sacrifice our lands, and we can use them to combo with something like Sylvan Safekeeper, Splendid Reclamation, bring back all those lands. Anything that lets us play lands from our graveyard would be really nice, and then we can sack lands, bring them back. And then obviously the altars, you make tokens, you make mana. Not too difficult. Next up, we have the ramp category. So this one was kind of weird because like most of the deck is ramp in some way or another. But these are the cards that I'm just using mostly for ramp. And so Dryad Arbor, you can get it off your green Tutors, bring it straight into play. It's also a creature that helps with Jetmir, so it's a great card in this deck. I like Flagstones a lot because you can sacrifice it, get a plains, bring it back from the graveyard, keep sacrificing it. It kind of works as like a pseudo fetch land, that if you have anything that sacrifices your lands, kind of gets you an extra one on top of that. So like Harrow, for example, you can Harrow your flagstones, come out with 3 lands from that because you sack it, get a plains, get 2 lands, and you're good to go. Next up, we have the big producer lands. So we have Gaia's Cradle and Nykthos. Gaia's Cradle needs no introduction, busted card. I don't know what else to say about it, it's Gaia's Cradle. Nykthos, pretty much the same thing. It'll help us if we don't have a lot of creatures, maybe we have some enchantments. It's a little bit more consistent, and the fact that it can tap for colorless. If we don't have any creatures out, we can tutor for this early, instead of having to wait for some creatures to play Gaia's Cradle. In the next really category I would consider is Lotus Cobra, Tireless Provisioner, and Stone Cedar Hierophant. So these all get us more mana when lands come in. They're amazing. They're some of the best cards in the deck. No problem, you proc a Harrow, all of a sudden you're making 4 or 5 mana, whatever. Stone Cedar, if you have Gaia's Cradle, Nykthos, anything that can make multiple mana, even a bounce land, then all of a sudden you're just going insane off of your Harrows, off of your Skyshroud Claims, anything like that. And the last sort of subcategory I have is just cards that get you lands straight into play. So we have our Nature's Lore, 3 Visits, Harrow, Wood Elf, Skyshroud Claim. Just the spells that you cast, land comes in. They're really the bread and butter of the deck, and they help everything else work nicely. And they ramp you, of course. So. Next, we've got the recursion category. So I'm really big on all types of recursion. I think reusing your graveyards is one of the most underrated, underused things in Commander. And so I like to run lots of cards that can act as recursion and are flexible in some sort of way. So what I'm talking about here specifically is Brought Back, Faith's Reward, and Trove Warden, and I guess Savin's Reclamation as well. So what these cards do is really let you put permanents from your graveyard back onto the battlefield. And so these are fantastic in the lands deck because they let you bring back your lands. And if you don't want to bring back your lands, someone board wipes, anything like that, you can bring back your creatures. If you're sacrificing creatures to Ashnod's Altar, you can use it for that. And so I think they're really, really good because especially Brought Back can work for early game ramp, and then later on you can use it to bring back those fetch lands, bring back your creatures, sacrifice things, bring them back, use it for board wipe protection. And then yeah, same thing for Faith's Reward, Savin's, Trove Warden, they just bring you back your permanents, and it's really, really good, especially in lands where you've got a lot of lands in your graveyard, you've got a lot of fetch lands that you're using, all that sort of thing. Next up, we just have some lands recursion. So like Life from the Loam, amazing card, probably doesn't need an introduction. Lets you get all those lands back, replay them, get them back again, dredge it, replay them, beautiful. Same thing with Wrenn and 6, he's gonna let you play your lands from your graveyard. Really, really good, really expensive. I opened one in Double Masters. I don't know if I'd buy this card, but I'm not sad to have it. Elegant Recovery, amazing, lets you bring back a card, also acts as a land. We always want those lands. And then Crucible of Worlds, Ramunap Excavator, and Ancient Green Warden all let us bring back those lands, play them straight from the graveyard, and even get the doubles on the Green Warden. We also have Eternal Witness, just bring back whatever you want. Green Staple, great card, put it in all your decks, so good. If you blink it, recur it, do anything with it, it just becomes amazing, such a good card. And then we have the Splendid Reclamation to get some of those big turns where we're fueling our graveyard and we get to bring everything back at once. Alright, next up we have removal. So I tend to play a little light on my removal. It's one of my greatest flaws. But I do make sure that at least some of these removal spells that I have can be reused, destroy multiple things, especially Heliod's, Aura Shards. And so don't come to me for your removal tips, but I do like the ones that I'm playing. We got Artifact Mutation to create some tokens. Swords to Plowshares is a classic. And I have no idea what Teferi's Protection is doing here. I should have put it in the utility category, which is coming up. So stay tuned. Alright, so tokens. We got Field of the Dead, classic. It's so good. It's a land, you can search it out, makes you tokens, wins you the game. It's good. Scoot Swarm, same thing on a creature. So good. Myria Angel, just a token producer, doesn't really do anything special. Felidar Retreat, really good. It can make you tokens and can also buff up your creatures. I wish it was on a creature, but I'll take the enchantment because it really is really good. We've got Green Sleeves. He's brand new. I don't even have him yet, but he's going in. He'll make you your tokens. He's also a huge beater, so he can just kill somebody if you have Jetmir, a few creatures in him. He's gigantic, so that's great. Titania brings your lands back, makes you tokens, nothing to complain about. Great with Scape Shift, anything that brings your lands back, puts them in the graveyard, anything like that, fantastic. Avenger of Zendikar, classic, needs no introduction, really good card. It's going in there, wins you the game. Big Omnath, same thing. Really good card, makes you tokens, wins you the game. For tutors, I'm considering taking out some tutors because I just don't like having that many tutors in my deck, and there's kind of a lot since it's lands and we add in those land tutors. I've already taken out a couple, but here's what I still have. Crop rotation, obviously sack a land, get any land you want. Guy's Cradle, Field of the Dead, you name it, it'll get it. Elvish Reclaimer, same sort of thing, sack a land, get a land. It's on a creature, so you can search for it with Green Sun Zenith, Finale, whatever you want. Next up, Green Sun Zenith and Finale. They search for your creatures, put them right on. You can 1 mana Green Sun for Dryad Arbor, same thing with 2 for Finale. Finale will win you the game if you got 12 mana. You've probably seen these cards, they're amazing. They should go in your green decks if you want to power them up. Knight of the Reliquary, same sort of thing as Elvish Reclaimer, sack a land, get a land. It's really nice because they come in untapped, so it kind of ramps you and lets you pick whatever lands. All you have to do is sack a forest or plain instead of any land, but this is just an amazing card. So Sunforger, really good. I'm considering taking it out because I don't like playing that many tutors, but it's so good. It'll combo with any board wipe, any sack outlet. You can use it to get Faith's Reward, sack all your lands, bring them back. You can use it for Teferi's Protection, board wipe, get Teferi's Protection back, whatever you want. This card does it all. It's so good. It's so good. So it's in here for now, but I'm not happy about it. But kind of, I am. As far as utility, this is kind of just the stuff that didn't fit too much in other categories. So Thespian Stage, copy a land. Vesuva, same thing. Yavimaya will make your lands into forests, so it'll make your fetch lands tap for mana. Guy's Cradle if you have no mana, and it just mana fixes you as well. And Amulet of Vigor, this is amazing. It basically acts as a Lotus Cobra Stone Cedar Hierophant when you're bringing in lands tapped. So if you Splendid Reclamation, Scape Shift, anything that's bringing in lands tapped, Elvish Reclaimer, anything along those lines, it's amazing and it'll really help your deck either combo off or just have those really big turns where you win the game. So board wipes, I have 3 board wipes in here. First off, Blasphemous Act, it's super cheap so it does the job. 1 mana wipe the board, not so bad. Onto Inversion, board wipe on a land. It's overcosted, but it's on a land. You're hardly ever going to play it for the board wipe cost, you're just going to play it as a land, it'll do great. And finally, Tragic Arrogance. So this is kind of just in here because I think it's really good. Always picking your best things and your opponent's worst things kind of turns it into a little bit of a one-sided board wipe. Not really, but you get a lot more benefit out of wiping the board than someone else does. And so I think it's worth it, but I might end up taking it out for the new, there's Vanquish the Horde, and there's the Convoke one too that destroys non-tokens. So I think both of those would be really good in here, and honestly, I might switch it out. So yeah, there's Jetmir Nexus of Revels lands. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to see any of my other decks, if you have any questions, anything about cards that I've excluded, cards that you might want to include, any questions about how the deck might play, anything like that. Feel free to ask, I might just reply. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, kiss me on the lips. Profit. Bye.